Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Mix, Sizzle, and Shake Your Business podcast, and I'm Sue Ann with Right Mix for Business, here for you today in an audio version of the Mizzy Biz Mix, Sizzle, and Shake Your Business podcast. So, I'm here doing it on audio because I want to add a few thoughts to a question from a Friday night live show by my friend Lee Love for his Photo Mentor Academy group. And I just want to expand a little bit maybe on the topic or on a topic that came up and perhaps offer some other ideas, a few perspectives, and maybe even some solutions that might help you. The question is this. The person was, I think, a little bit sad, maybe miffed is a better word, because someone shared a piece of their work. Now, this is a photographer, so the work was bought by the client, so it's the client's piece of work, but the photographer was the artist. But the client is sharing this piece of work on social media and getting really great interaction. All kinds of love, thumbs up, and hearts and likes and, possibly shares and definitely comments, a lot of great comments. So it's a successful share by the person who shared it. And yet the poor old photographer is not getting credit at all, not even a mention. Terrible, right? Not so fast. First of all, as Lee pointed out, that's a piece of work the client bought from you, so they own it. So you don't get credit anymore. You sold it to them, right? And that's how that works. And Lee also pointed out that it's not up to the client to market for you. It's up to you to market for you. But the truth is, this is the time of, huge, drastic changes in marketing. And it's coming down to a lot of marketing and, not newly, but a lot of marketing is based on word of mouth. It is based on user-generated content, and your brand does evolve based on what other people think and say about you. So, on the other hand, I guess you could say that, we do promote each other. I think I wrote about Lee and promoted him, and that's how he got to know me. And the reason I promoted him wasn't because I wanted Lee to get to know me. I thought his show was worth writing about. I learned some things. It made me take a new perspective, and it fit into any artist, not just a photographer, but as a writer as well, where you need to, observe the world around you. You need to think about the frame in which you present your art. You need to think about the perspective, the story that you tell in either words or in a photo or whatever. And it's about learning about discovering your artist's eye, which is so important no matter what your art, in my opinion. So I kind of felt, immediately, a connection with his words. It resonated with me completely. So I was excited about what I learned, and I was excited to write about it. And I was promoting someone else that didn't ask me, that didn't know me, that, and this is me promoting someone else's work, which, of course, I gave him credit and I gave him links, and I even told him right before I hit publish that I was going to do it. And so he was kind enough to add his own photography, which was like, whew, so great, a real feather on the piece of work to add his stuff into it with his permission. And so, we were co-promoting at that point. And, that's a great thing. It is a user-generated content, user word-of-mouth marketing world right now. And with social media, there's that problem where your customer can talk back to you. It's not just you promoting outwardly. It's a conversation. It's a two-way thing, which gives you the opportunity in this situation to join the conversation. And that way, you can promote your own photography on that same thread. Now, if that client is your friend or, you're on social, if you're connected on social, that makes it really easy. You pop in on the thread, you say, hey, I love that you're showcasing this photo. It was a great day that day, or what a great shoot, or I loved working with you. I can't wait to work with you again. Or this was one of my favorites too. I'm so glad you liked it. I can't wait to work with you again. You can let people know nonchalantly that it is your work, popping in on social if you're not spammy or rude, or, if you say to them, oh, I'm so pleased you like this. I had so much fun working with you. I can't wait till we do another shoot or you have another project. And now everyone knows that it's your work. And here, why didn't they say it's your work? Maybe they weren't even thinking about it. Maybe they were thinking, I love this so much. I want to use it. I want to show it. It's mine. Because they were promoting it with love as their own, is actually another feather in your cap, because that means you have a happy client, doesn't it? They're so happy they want to shout it to the world. So they're promoting you even if they're not giving you the credit, because you know that you did that work. And that brings up another idea that I want to throw at you. As an artist, and I find this is so true in the creative projects I work on, and I work on all sorts of different things. A lot of what I do is writing based because that's my superpower. But the point is that you have to have some kind of satisfaction. At least in my opinion, you'll do better if you can feel enjoyment, happiness, satisfaction, pride in what you create, and you're always, putting out your best. With every piece I write, with every type of piece I write, whether it's web copy, whether it's social copy, whether it's articles, I'm putting, my best foot forward. I'm doing my very best work, and I often feel a sense of satisfaction in a job that I think, I put my heart and soul in. I did the best I could. When you feel good about your own work, it continues to propel you forward to do more. And of course, if you're like Lee and I, you'll probably never be happy with your own work. You're always looking to do better. But that's okay too, because that helps you improve. I kept a list of things that I could do better after every job, after every project, after every event. For years and years and years, I listed what I could improve upon for the next time. I still do it. Or I send the client stuff after the project's done. I have a few more things, or we could tweak this or that. It's already done, accepted, loved. But I still see room for improvement. And, even when you get that thank you note that the client is 150% thrilled to pieces, they're telling all their friends about you. They already love you. They're already selling you out on the street what you want. But you had a page and a half of notes of what you could improve on. Because, your 100% job, a client doesn't know how far you can go. They're thrilled. They've never had someone that did it as far as you did it. And they're 150% thrilled. But if you're trying to improve and you're trying to learn and grow, you'll always keep, critiquing for growth. But don't critique yourself out of doing stuff. And don't critique yourself out of, they didn't mention my name. What the heck? Don't feel bad about that, because they may not have thought about you whatsoever, But other people think and promote other people all the time. I do it all the time. I'm promoting Lee right now. Join his group, join his class, watch his Friday night Photo Mentor Academy on Photo Mentor TV. On YouTube, don't miss it, or check out his Facebook group, Photo Mentor TV. Just hook up with Lee Love, and you will learn about photography. And it doesn't matter if you're a beginner. He's especially great with beginners, but any level, as long as you're moving forward, he'll help you. And so, he promotes other people on his shows. And he reminds you that there's artists who are the greatest creators of our time who weren't known to be an artist and weren't appreciated or paid for till after their death. So, if you're creating for someone besides yourself, if you're creating for fame, that's probably not going to help propel you forward. Not unless you, are lucky enough to instantly have that kind of fame. But in other words, I guess I'm trying to say, if you can get that inner joy from the process, if you can get that happiness from doing the work, then you're going to be way ahead and you're going to keep your momentum moving as well. But as far as the social media goes, why can't you pop in and say, hey, thanks, I'm so thrilled to see this. I'm so thrilled you loved it. I can't wait to work with you again. And everyone then knows you're the photographer. Bam, you were being socially interactive. You were supporting them, supporting you, and that's how it's done. So that's okay. And like I said, Lee talked about photographers who are different kinds of photographers than he is. And, pushed that, if you want an abstract photographer, here's a guy who I know who's really good at it. Check him out. And so he's promoting somebody else's work, somebody else's information, and that's okay. It's expanding his students in a new direction, but one that he doesn't specialize in. I promote people that do the same thing I do because they have a new idea, or they're looking at it different, or they're bringing something in, or the mix of those people gives me a really good show. So I steal stuff from this person, this person, this person, and I credit them all the time. I talk about other people and what I've learned from them all the time. And it can be a client, it can be a collaborator, it can be a student, it can be your friends, where you learn and what you read, of course, but anywhere that you learn and feel good about, don't be afraid to promote those things, because when you promote others, it's really funny how that promotion comes back to you and it becomes social, and you share each other. You're curating for other people as well as they're curating for you. That's how you build community. That's how you grow and trade audiences. That's how you learn from other people's input beyond what you can do. That's how you share other people's work as collaborators, So it's really good that you do that. Now there's this example. What if you buy something that you don't want anyone to know who that creator is ever? I don't know the context of the client with the photo. Maybe it would be completely out of line to hop on social and say anything, because maybe it's a business piece of content that they bought for their business and it's not really about the artist at all. Here's an example, a logo. I bought a logo from an artist. I had an artist do my logo for Write Mix for Business, WRITE, Mix for Business. At the time, I felt like I paid a lot of money for it with an artist, because I couldn't do what I wanted. I had ideas and colors, and, I gave her, my best information to guide her, but I'm not an artist, and I love that she put together my business and my creativity in a graphic design for my logo. And I feel like it speaks really well for me, for the brand that I feel like I am, that's, all business and yet creative and fun too. So it's interesting, because when I gave her the artwork, I told her the colors that I wanted. That was, two of the things that I did know. And her first thing was, those colors are not going to go together. They don't work together. They aren't going to work. We can't work with them. And I said, well, play with it a little. Let me know, because I think that they go good together. I think they might work. And after a couple of days, I heard back from her, these colors work perfectly together. I really like it. And so it worked out really well for, now I'm not silly enough not to take the artist's perspective and say, and, if they really needed changed, if they really weren't a good combo, I'm not above, changing something, because she's the professional and I'm just the client. But I, had a pretty strong feeling that I thought they would, complement each other, and it turned out to be so. More so than she expected. She was real pleased with the color choices in the end also. So interesting. But now, when she first did it, did I give her a lot of kudos on social? Did I say thank you? I love the new logo, and, put her name on my social channels all those years ago? Yes, I did. Of course, I thanked her, because I was thrilled with it. And I do believe in promoting and cross-promoting and promoting people that, you work with and products that you use. However, I haven't mentioned, and I'm not mentioning now, that person's name at all, because that's my logo, right? That's my representation of my company that that I had an artist, I paid an artist to do for me. And so in the case of photography, that's often the case. Lee shoots photojournalistic work. And I'm sure there's a lot of times, especially for commercial work, where his part is not in the credits. It's not on the page, and that's typical because you're not doing it as your own creative piece. You're doing it as a part of a client's portfolio or a piece for, paid piece of work that you sold your work to the client. And, that's the same again as with web copy or ghostwriting. I have to sign a non-disclosure. So some of the work I'm most proud of and that could see on different websites, no one will ever know that I had anything to do with it. And that's okay, because it's done for them. It's their work. And isn't it really the biggest win of all if the customer is completely happy with the work that you did, if the work that you did resonates with their clients and is helping them with their business, the whole intent of you performing the work, especially like in the case of commercial work. So there's those perspectives, as well as if you're a creator and you're worried about the outside world and what they will think of your work, you're in trouble. And even if you work with certain companies, there's just too many opinions to get a piece of work to move, to even get it done. You have too many people, too many, chefs cooking in the pot, too many editors, too many perspectives on the creative. We've all run into that, no matter what world of business you work in. But so I guess what I'm trying to suggest to you is that you find joy within yourself and in the process, in the creative process, in the ability to work with people, in the fun of communicating with others and trying to bring ideas and visions and visuals and photos and creations to life. But use your own meter to determine that it's a job well done. Because if you let it feel like you're waiting for the outside to critique you or to keep you happy or sad, that's just not a good way to work. Anyway, the other hand of that logo, okay, I'm not going to say who did it. I'm not going to promote that. I'm not leaving her signature on it everywhere I use it. Of course not. But if she has my logo as an example of her work in her portfolio, do I care? No. Now, did I agree to let her use it or not? I don't know. I don't know that we actually had any kind of terms like that, but I would be crazy to be upset with her for showing my logo in her portfolio, because that's her showing my company to another audience. So keep in mind that she may never give you credit, but you can use that photo that did so well on social and that people loved. You got that engagement, you got that measure from the public, which is more than you can often do sometimes with your work. You never really find out how it does. You move on to the next project. If you're not staying with the company, you don't keep an eye on its performance for its lifetime or whatever. But if you have that measure because they did promote it, they did put it on social, and you are seeing the likes and loves and comments, and whether you added your own marketing spin and comment and, show of appreciation to the client for showcasing that work, whether or not you do that, either way, you can still put it in your portfolio unless there's some reason that that's not cool, depending, again, on a contract. I'm not sure. I guess Lee could probably tell us exactly. But I believe that, again, I'm dating myself, but I think that in the past, photographers kept their film, which meant that they own the work even if they sell the photo. So he could probably tell you more about those rights. But I think, again, it could be a portfolio piece for you, whether or not you're getting credit when somebody else uses it. So there's that position as well, that context. Okay, so I hope this gave you a few thoughts about how you could go about tweaking your social or jumping in for a little credit where credit's due in a nonchalant, non-evasive way, customer-oriented interaction, something positive. You don't want to go in with, hey, you forgot me, So keep that in mind. And don't be afraid to promote other people and let them promote you. Social is about social interaction. Social is about building community, growing an audience. It's about sharing an audience and learning from other people's input. That's why you curate in your industry. You curate around what you talk about. You share their work. They share your work. You trade ideas. It's a conversation. And so, again, jump in that conversation, get social, and help promote yourself with social media without even doing your own social media. Okay? Okay. That's my 2 cents for today. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon on the Mix, Sizzle, and Shake Your Business podcast. This is Sue Ann. Take care, and thanks for listening. Thanks for checking out this Right Mix for Business presentation. Remember, if you need to bling your blog or you need help with any content assets for your business, Right Mix for Business. Yep.